Hey, YouTube world of YouTube, it's VSG Steve here with my 24-month update. Sorry guys, I haven't been around much. I've just been busy with everything, and but I thought, it's 2 years last week since my VSG surgery, and I thought, it's time to update you guys in what's going on. Sorry about a bit the light. I'm normally I used to do my updates late at night, which we had pretty good light in the around now, and I'm just relying on the natural light today. So what's been happening, I haven't done, for people new to this channel, it's great, I'm not sure if there'll be many new, but for people who are new, I had VSG surgery nearly 2 years ago, so June 2016. Feels like just yesterday really, but there's also been so much that's happened in that time. So, and my starting weight was 155.5 kilos. I never really had a goal weight, but the lowest I got down to was about 90. I think it was 93 in about October 2017. And probably for the last 6 months, I haven't done an update since January, and probably the last 6 months, my weight has been really floating around from that 90. I think last time I did a update, it was at 96.7 kilos, or about 211 pounds. It's now gone up to 101.6 kilos, or 222 pounds. Am I concerned about that? A little bit, but not major. I'm actually seeing my dietitian and seeing my surgeon in the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to have a bit of a conversation with them. In the sense of the size and fitting in clothes, and there's no issues around that. Hasn't changed. That I'm in that stage, and I'm going to actually do a bit more research in the sense of how much should I be getting concerned. It's one of the couple of things that I've probably realised that I need to just keep staying on plan with things like water, trying to make sure I have water, and even in the sense of my water, I've really concentrated in the last week or so to get my water back in and getting lots of water. My diet is pretty whole foods. So in the most mornings I have a green smoothie, so made up spinach, bananas, some berries, some flaxseed seeds, and some milk. I normally have a bit of fruit for morning tea. Lunch is normally a salad, or a salad with some protein. Afternoon tea is normally a Greek yogurt or some fruit also. I normally have a couple of pieces of fruit on my way home around 5 o'clock. Normally have dinner about 6:30, 7 o'clock, which is normally mostly low carb kind of meals, so lots of a bit with protein and some vegetables and things like that. And then I normally have some rice crackers and cheese in the night, and maybe some more fruit. I'm eating a lot of fruit, so I'm not sure if that's a bit of an issue or not, and that's why I want to have a bit more of a conversation with my dietitian. So what's been happening in the last 6 months? Well, last time I did an update was January, and it was right in the middle of the triathlon season. Last season I had 2 goals which I wanted to do, which was do a sprint distance under an hour and a half. I had done that back in December, which was about an hour and 22 minutes. Also wanted to do an Olympic triathlon under 3 hours. So I did an Olympic the previous season hang on, let me just get the exact time. The Olympic last season was 3 hours 17. So my goal this season was to try and get it under 3 hours. So for people who don't do triathlons, a sprint is normally 500 or 750 metre swim, 20k ride, and a 5k run. And the Olympic is 1.5k run, a 1.5k swim, 40k ride, and 10k run. So I was conscious my swim times this year haven't really improved much. That's probably understandable, because I don't get in the pool as much as I probably should. Doing a lot of riding and a lot of running over the triathlon season. So that's where it's probably. So the biggest the Olympic triathlon I did this year was I did the swim in 35 minutes, or just shy of 36 minutes. I did um, the cycle in the 40k ride in an hour and 12 minutes, and then I did the run in just over an hour. So when you throw in the transitions and things like that, my final time was 2 hours 55.55. 2 hours 55 minutes 55 seconds. So that was a huge achievement to have a 23 nearly 23 minutes PB this season. So, which was actually quite, which I was quite stoked about, and it was actually interesting because I actually got nominated for one of the most improved male athlete for at the local triathlon club presentation night a couple of months back, which was pretty cool because I was actually it's when we hang around this community, and a lot of the time we actually start comparing ourselves to other weight loss people, but it's now actually feel like I'm actually comparing myself to athletes. So, and I still don't see myself as an athlete, but I think other people have that view. The other big thing that I'm doing is doing park run, and I talked about that a little bit in the last, where I used to semi-regularly get to park run. I'm now getting to it a lot more regularly, and I've actually got a group of 4 of us who we do park run each week around Melbourne. So if you're around Melbourne and you're pretty keen to do a park run, please let me know, because we've got a group that we rotate through different park runs in the northern and eastern suburbs. And my park run time, which is for people who don't know park run, it's a community run, free run for 5Ks every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. And my park run times have gone from, probably in the last 12 months, of being about half an hour down to, I think just before I did my last update, I did a 24:42, and then I did a park run the other week at 23:18. It's interesting at the moment with my park runs because I'm doing a training. Sorry about that. I'm actually training up for a half marathon in a couple of weeks' time. So I'm actually not that concerned about my times in park run. And it's actually interesting because at the moment I'm using my Saturdays as my long run. And a lot of the time in the last couple of weeks I've actually been getting to the park run early and doing a run before the park run. So one week I did it, the 5K twice, so it ended up being 10Ks, and then last week I did an 8K run before park run, so it ended up being 13Ks, and then I actually did a small run afterwards to karate for my sons who were taking up karate on Saturday mornings, and we normally try and they ride their bikes and I run down, so that threw in another 2Ks, so it got me to my 15Ks, and then tomorrow I'll be running to park run, which is about 6Ks, doing the park run, and then most likely running back as long as I'm feeling right. So that's pretty much a lot of stuff that's been going on with me. Food wise, hasn't really changed much. Still conscious of my intake. Still, as I said to you, I'm seeing a dietitian in a couple of weeks' time and really trying to review what's going on in the sense of my weight going up a little bit. But I feel like there's probably little things that I can be improving on. I've still drinking alcohol a little bit on the weekends. I do have to say I've really noticed my alcohol. I know people talk about alcohol and how it hits you a lot harder, and it's taking me a lot more time to recover from a night for a couple of drinks. And I've got a couple of guys that I hang around with, a couple of dads from the school who I hang around with and have a drink with occasionally. And I have to say that I've got to remind myself when I'm out with those guys that I can't drink with those guys at the same pace that they drink. So, but that's all right. It's good. The other thing I just wanted to mention was how we inspire people and we get inspired by other people. So, I had the opportunity we had a meet up with. There was a friend of Simone's, Sims, who contacted me pre-surgery about 18 months ago. Ads from Queensland, and I had never met Ads, and we've been swapping, and he ended up having surgery, and he's doing amazing things, and he's going absolutely flogging himself at the gym every day for an hour and a half, and he's actually started to start looking at doing some longer runs. And he came down to Melbourne earlier this year, and we did a park run together, which was fantastic. And doing those kind of things. And it's also, you really get. He keeps saying to me, I inspire him, but he inspires me in the way his dedication, his commitment to this. The other thing is how you inspire other people who haven't had surgery. So my best mate, who could see what I was doing, I think he's now started doing park runs with me on Saturday mornings, and it's fantastic because I get more excited seeing him achieve his PBs than myself. And the last couple of weeks, as I said to you, I'm doing the training up for the half marathon at the end of July, and really. The last couple of weeks, I've just been running with him. He's a little bit slower than I am, but it just gives me a chance to I just run with him each week, and it's keeping me at a comfortable pace that I'm doing on Saturday mornings, where I don't want to be running at a real full-on pace when I'm doing longer runs. But also, we do with park runs is every so often they do time trials. So what they actually do is they allocate people to certain times, and you run at that time following your watch just to make sure people are there, and then they can actually run with you and they know what sort of time that you're running at. So a couple of weeks ago, when we went to one of the park runs, the week that I did my PB of 23:18, I was running with the 23 pacer all the way through up until about the 4K mark, and then I couldn't stay with them, so I ended up. But it meant me breaking about 20 seconds off my PB. And then the following week, I ended up being the 30-minute pacer at a different park run, and most times I'm doing park runs, I can do it in under 25 minutes, but doing it under 30 minutes, it was fantastic getting out there and running with a couple of people. It was really interesting because we were running at a lot quicker pace than we probably should have been, and then we got to about the 4K mark, and then I had slowed right down. But seeing these people who, and they were so excited at the end of it because they ended up breaking their PBs, and I'm getting more out of that than I'm actually getting out of me breaking PBs, so it's kind of things. The last thing I wanted to do was actually, I got a bit of recognition through another YouTube channel called Triathlon Terran. Triathlon Terran, I've talked about before. He's a guy from Winnipeg who does a triathlon video every day, and he started doing a Tuesday Newsday thing, and at the end of it, he actually does a profile of someone who's in what we call the Trainiac community. So all the people who follow his videos and things, he calls them all Trainiacs, and I got profiled in that for my journey. So what I'll do is I'll link the video to it. You'll have to. It's very late in the video, so I'll also post at what part you can click to if you don't want to watch all everything that happens in his videos. But he talks about what's been happening in triathlon that week, and it talks about a couple of races, and then he talks about the profile there. So anyway, that's about it. I hope to do a little bit more regular videos again, but we'll see what happens. I might do a video after I've met up with my dietitian and my surgeon, and then it's probably about the same time that I'll have done my third half marathon. After I've done the half marathon this July, I'm thinking of stepping it up to do a full marathon in October. So we'll see how it goes. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and see you soon. Bye.